joining me. We are doing something a little bit different tonight. I have got a Vauxhall Astra here with me. It belongs to a family member who was looking to trade the car away, upgrade something a little bit newer. But they kept getting offers, ridiculous offers in my opinion, of £150, £200 trade-in, part exchange cost. Which I felt was unfair for the car. It's not a bad car at all, but it did need a bit of love. It didn't have a lot of MOT left. Got a few knocks and bangs going on, so I said, don't take that part X for it because they're absolutely having your eyes out. Give the car to me, I'll fix it up, I'll get it in MOT and I'll try and sell it for you. So I've got the car here and I found out what the rattle is. We've got a broken coil spring. So that's what we're tackling tonight. We're going to change the near side front coil spring on this Vauxhall Astra. It is a MK6 Astra J, 2010, 2011, something like that. It's not a bad car. The springs aren't bad to do, so we're going to get out there, get the car jacked up, run through how we're going to do it. Let's go! Okay, here we are. Near side front left. And first off, we need to say that if you're doing a coil spring, you need to be careful. This is under quite a lot of tension. You are going to need some kind of compressing tool. Don't do what the people on Facebook and Instagram and wherever else you're seeing with cable ties, because you're just going to end up with a spring in your face. You need the right tool. They're ready available. They're not that expensive. Just get it. And also, doing coil springs like this one we saw earlier, there was quite a sizable chunk snapped off. You need to be careful that the sharp edge, mine's right at the back there, hasn't slid off this seat with the sharp edge rubbing on your tyre. So you always need to check the back side of your tyre to make sure there's no damage. Don't need to worry about that here because this hasn't come away from the seat. It's still sat quite nice. I think this is definitely the cause of our suspension noise, because the piece that I've removed, the loose piece, was quite jammed up in there and this spring was quite twisted. So I think that's definitely the noise. And besides the noise, that is an MOT failure anyway, so we need to get it done. I'm hoping this isn't going to be too much of a job to do. Everything looks pretty easy to get to. We've got two bolts fitting on the hook and the drop link, which I do have a new drop link as well. The other side's new, so I thought we might as well replace this one while we're on, and it saves any pain later on if this doesn't want to come out. But before we get started, just a glance. This shock absorber has KYB on it, which means that's not original. So this has definitely been off before. So hopefully all these bolts just come undone. So let's give it a go, huh? A bit rusted up, so give them a good wire brush off. And a good douse with some lubrication. Don't be shy. Right, how then? So this should be an 18mm. Might be a 19. Looks a bit better. Drop links you've got to watch, because sometimes the whole ball joint turns and you're not actually unwinding anything. Yeah, like that, you see. See how the threaded part is turning as well. That means that this is going to be a pain. There we go. So what I've done there is I've got an Allen key in the centre with a ratchet spanner on the nut, and we can then turn the nut and keep the centre threaded part still. There's only just enough room for my ratchet spanner there. go. I've done the other end as well. So from the drop link off. Now there's a little bit of slack in it. Might have been contributing to our noise. Anyway, back to the main event, huh? So we're going to need these two out. Get that light in a better place, huh? There we go. This brake line does just pop out of there. There we go. Out of its little hoop. That'll do for that. Right. So I think these are 18s. Find the sockets. Ooh, it's tight. It's quite tight. There we go. There. Go. Now these should just tap out. There we go. And the other one. Come on. There we go. Bit of a wiggle. There we are. So that's now dropped out the way. That should just sit there nicely. Do be careful of popping CV joints out the gearboxes. Citroens and Peugeots are bad for that, these just fall out. This being a Vauxhall, that should be alright. Make sure you haven't got too much tension on that brake line either. But that should just stay there out of the way. So this is now completely disconnected this end. So we need to go up the top, under the bonnet, take some stuff off under there. So, under this trim here, got a plastic cap. The big nut should be a 22. Yes. Now, is this gonna be nice? Or am I gonna have to get creative again? Alright, so same game as the drop link. I've got an Allen key on there and a big spanner. Oh my word, that is tight. Oh. There we go, I've got it. At some point, I'm going to have to catch it with your third hand. Now I'm holding the strut with my right hand while I'm undoing that nut with my left. Nearly there. Oh, I'm losing the donkey. Might be about it. Oh yes. There we go. So that's off. Oh. And the strut is out. There we go. Oh, hey Rupert. There we go. Strut is out. With the broken end just there. So let's get this in the garage and get that spring swapped off. So I've got this spring compressor here. A good friend has lent it to me. These jaws are changeable, different size ones here. I've got a slightly smaller one on the top there and a bigger one on the bottom there, just because of the shape of that spring. The coils on the bottom are fatter than the coils on the top. Stay. So here's the knackered one. I'm going to get that. Hey. In there. And then turn this little handle up. It's not even. And that compresses this. Well, make sure your springs are sat in there properly. There we go, it's now released. So hopefully we can just spinning. Yes. Get in. Right. You can put a pair of grips on there to stop that rod turning now. You want to get as far up there as you can so that you don't end up marring the end of this and it could go in there and ruin the seals. If you get quite far up, you're out of the way of the travel. There we go. So now just can take the shock absorber out. We'll have to put that back in. And this is the strut top bearing that we need out as well. I think we might have jammed it up. So we'll just decompress the spring. There we go. This should just come off. He says with confidence. Oh, there we go. Now there's the bearing. And we've got like a mount in there as well. Oh, a hammer. There we go. It's just a little bit stuck. Oh. Get out. Right. One knackered coil spring. Now, obviously, you can't get this wrong, which way around it goes. Make sure it's the same as the old one before we go any further. Yes, apart from the broken bit. Now, we can't get this wrong because it's got a big end and a little end. Some springs aren't as obvious as this, so you should always make sure that you're getting it the right way. Find which way it seats properly. Obviously, this one goes this way. Put that in there. Uncrinkle it because it's just gash, isn't it? Leaving it crinkled. Get that sat in there. Put that in there. It goes in there. Might leave that on till we've got the strut in. So it's dropping it on the floor, losing all the bits. Compress the new spring. This little rubber dobber wants to go on the end of that. And fall off. Maybe a bit more. No idea what that was. Right, there we go, I've got it. You need to make sure that your springs are in the seats properly. Got your nut started on. Put that on some. Give this a good gunning. Go. So now we should be able to release the tension off the spring. There we go. One coil spring replaced. So let's get this back on the car. So we're just going to chuck this up in there. Get that big nut on. Still in there. Again, you're kind of got to be a bit of an octopus to be able to achieve this with any kind of dignity. Oh, actually, it's not too bad, this one. Some cars are a bit more awkward than others. You need your Allen key again. Wherever we've lost it to. On the floor. Go our way now. So, strut's back in and on. At the top, I've clipped all that plasticky nonsense back on as well. So now we just need to lift this back up into place. Where are you? There you are. Go. It's back on. That's nice and tight. Brake flexi pipe back in its little holder. we go. And now the drop link. Got a nice new one here. Will you stay still? And always make sure that it is the same as the old one, because you never know what you're getting nowadays. It's weird, these are actually made out of plastic. Hey, that's a Febia has been changed. I thought that's a GM on it there. No, that has been changed at some point. Ah, these are plastic. Most of the time these are made out of steel. Don't know what the crack is there. Vauxhall clearly were on one that day. Right, now you'll see what the problem is. No, you can't. Now you see the problem is this doesn't line up with the hole. That's because I've only got one side of the car jacked up, so there's tension on the anti-roll bar. So all you need to do with that is lever it down a little bit, and it will line up. Oh, that's tight. There we go. And that's it, guys. Easy peasy. Well, as easy peasy as it gets when you're fighting these bolts. So we can chuck the wheel back on now and call this done. Obviously we're going to have to take this for a little test drive to make sure the horrible noises are gone, but I did go through the whole suspension, and other than a CV boot clip that's come adrift on the other side, there isn't anything else wrong that I can see. So hopefully that's it. Well, there we go. Hopefully that little Vauxhall Astra will be on its way to finding a new home shortly. I'm going to get it in MOT, get it validated, and get a little advert up for it. So yeah, that's the end of the video. So I hope you enjoyed it. If it's helped you in any way, please do like the videos, comment on the videos, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be getting a lot more content. Got a few different things lined up, different cars over the next few weeks. So yeah. Stay tuned, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!